Hello there, and welcome back to English Active Listening. I'm your host, Alyssa, and I'm so very glad you're here with me today. I can almost feel you sitting there, maybe with a warm cup of coffee, or maybe you're on a walk, just soaking up some information. And I want you to know that the simple act of listening to this show is already a beautiful step in your language journey. I get so many messages from you, my dear listeners, asking for the same thing. Alyssa, what is the best way to learn English? What's the secret to getting fluent? And every time I get that question, my answer is always the same. It's not a secret at all. The real secret is consistency. It's about showing up every single day, not for a marathon of study, but for a short, focused, and powerful sprint. It's the daily habit, not the occasional heroics, that builds true mastery. And that's why today, I'm so excited to share with you what I believe is the most effective and sustainable way to learn English. A 20-minute daily learning routine. A plan so simple and so manageable that it's nearly impossible to fail. The magic isn't in the length of time. It's in the daily commitment. I'm going to walk you through exactly what those 20 minutes should look like. Give you practical, free ways to practice each step, and help you build a routine that you can stick with for a lifetime. Now, before we get into the nuts and bolts of the routine, I want to tell you a little story. A story about what inspired me to create this very plan. It's a story that has nothing to do with languages, but everything to do with learning. I've always loved to bake, and for the longest time, I wanted to learn how to make the perfect sourdough bread. I watched all the videos on YouTube. I bought all the special flours and fancy proofing baskets. But I would only try it on a Saturday, when I had hours and hours of free time. I would spend 4 hours on a weekend trying to get the dough just right, kneading it, folding it, and then it would often fail. I'd get frustrated, and I wouldn't touch it again for another month. The loaves were always too dense, or they didn't rise properly. It was so disappointing, and it felt like a waste of time. Then, a friend of mine, who is an incredible baker, gave me a new strategy. She said, "Alyssa, you're trying to do too much at once. The key to sourdough isn't a 4-hour marathon on a Saturday. It's a 2-minute action every day." She told me that every morning, she would feed her starter, just for 2 minutes. And every evening, she would give her dough a single fold, again, just for 2 minutes. Those 2-minute daily actions were so small, they felt like nothing. But over a week, they added up to a perfectly active starter and a beautifully developed dough. It was the daily, short, consistent effort that produced the results, not the one-off, heroic effort. And that's when it clicked for me. It's the same thing with learning a language. A 2-hour class once a week is hard to show up for. It's easy to say, "Oh, I'm too tired. I'll do it next week." But a 20-minute daily routine? That's different. That's a habit you can build. It's not about finding 2 hours. It's about finding 20 minutes. And I truly believe that if you're passionate about something, if you truly want to learn it, you can always find 20 minutes in your day. So, with that inspiration in mind, let's break down this routine. Our 20-minute routine is going to be divided into 4 5-minute blocks, each focusing on a different key skill. We'll start with listening, move to speaking, then to reading and vocabulary, and we'll end with a moment of reflection and writing. The first 5 minutes are all about active listening and repetition. Listening is so incredibly important. I've heard so many people say that they were doing great in their English class. They understood the grammar, and they could read perfectly. But then they went to a country where English was spoken. Or they got on a phone call with a native speaker, and they felt completely lost. The reason is that real-life English isn't like the textbook version. It's full of accents, speed, intonation, and different rhythms. There are so many varieties of English in the world today. There's the American accent, the British accent, the Australian, the Canadian, but also the accents of people from India, from China, from all over Europe and South America. And your goal is to train your ear to understand all of them. So, for this first 5-minute block, I want you to find a short audio clip or video, something that is just 1 to 2 minutes long. It could be a short news report, a clip from a podcast on a topic you love, or even a short conversation from a show. The key here is that you're choosing a resource that is at your level, but maybe a little bit challenging. You don't want to choose something so easy that you're bored, but you don't want to choose something so difficult that you feel completely overwhelmed. The first thing you're going to do is just listen. I want you to listen to the clip one time all the way through without looking at a transcript or subtitles. Just try to get the main idea. What is the speaker talking about? Then, I want you to listen a second time, this time with the transcript or subtitles. Follow along with the text as you listen, and pay close attention to how the words are pronounced, how they link together, and the rhythm of the speaker. Notice where they pause, where they emphasize certain words. This is where you're training your ear to connect the sound of the word with how it's written. Now, here's the most powerful part of this exercise: the repetition. I want you to pause the audio every few sentences and repeat what you just heard. Try your absolute best to copy the speaker's accent, their speed, their tone, and even the emotion in their voice. It might feel a little awkward at first, but this is the most effective way to train your mouth muscles to create the sounds of English. It's a technique called shadowing, and it's a favorite among language learners because it's so effective. Let's try a quick little example together. I'll say a short sentence, and I want you to repeat it with me. Ready? The secret to fluency is not a big effort, but a daily habit. Now you try it. The secret to fluency is not a big effort, but a daily habit. Okay, one more. I'm feeling really inspired today, and I'm ready to take on this challenge. And you repeat it. I'm feeling really inspired today, and I'm ready to take on this challenge. By doing this for just 5 minutes every day, you are building a bridge between what you hear and what you can say. You are strengthening your listening comprehension, and you're preparing yourself to speak more confidently. Okay, we're 5 minutes in, and we're moving on to the next 5 minutes. This part is all about speaking practice, and I know what some of you are thinking. But Alyssa, I don't have anyone to talk to. And that's okay, because for this section, your speaking partner is going to be you. Speaking is often the most intimidating part of learning a new language, because it's where you have to put everything together: the grammar, the vocabulary, the pronunciation, and the flow. The problem is that many words that we understand are just in our passive vocabulary, which means we recognize them when we hear them or read them, but they don't come to mind when we need to say them. This 5-minute practice is designed to move those words from your passive vocabulary into your active vocabulary, so they're ready to use when you need them. For this practice, I want you to talk to yourself out loud. Pick a simple topic, something you're comfortable with. It could be as simple as describing your day so far. I woke up at 7. I had a cup of coffee, and then I went for a quick walk. Or you could describe something you did recently. I watched a really interesting movie last night. It was a documentary about deep-sea fishing. Don't worry about being perfect. The goal here isn't to be a perfect speaker. It's just to get comfortable with the act of speaking. If you get stuck on a word, that's okay. It's a good thing, because it tells you exactly what you need to work on. Just try to explain what you're trying to say in a different way, or make a mental note of that word and look it up later. The point is to keep the conversation going. Another great idea for this 5-minute block is to summarize the audio clip you just listened to in the first section. Try to tell yourself, in your own words, what the main idea was, who the speakers were, and what you learned. This is a fantastic way to combine listening and speaking practice. Let's try a practice prompt right now. I want you to pause this audio after I finish speaking, and just talk out loud for about a minute. Tell yourself about a place you'd love to travel to. Describe what you would do there, what you would eat, and why you want to go there. Don't worry about anyone hearing you. Just give it a try. So, where would you love to travel to? And why? I hope you took that minute for yourself. Just to talk. This simple act of speaking, even to yourself, is so powerful. It trains your brain to think in English, and it builds the confidence you need to speak to others. All right, we're 10 minutes in, and we're halfway there. Our next 5 minutes are dedicated to reading and vocabulary building. Reading is an incredible way to grow your vocabulary and understand how words are used naturally in different contexts. For this part of the routine, I want you to read for 5 minutes. As always, choose something you're interested in. It could be a news article, a blog post, a short story, or a chapter from a book. As you read, I want you to be a detective. Highlight or write down any new words or phrases you come across, and before you look up the word, I want you to try to guess its meaning from the context of the sentence. The surrounding words will give you clues. Use them to your advantage. For example, imagine you're reading a story and you see this sentence. The intrepid hiker embarked on a perilous journey through the mountains. You might not know what intrepid or perilous means, but the sentence talks about a hiker, someone who walks in the mountains, and a journey, which is a long trip. The word embarked tells you he started the journey. From this, you can probably guess that intrepid means brave or fearless, and perilous means dangerous. See how you can use the context to figure out the meaning? After you've finished reading for 5 minutes, take a moment to look up the exact definitions of 1 or 2 of the words you found. Say the word out loud, check its pronunciation, and then try to create a simple sentence using it. This is so much more effective than just writing a list of words, because you're connecting the word to a real-life context, and you're practicing using it yourself. So, for your 5 minutes of reading, just choose a short text, read it carefully, and practice being a word detective. We are now 15 minutes into our routine, and we have just one more 5-minute block to go. This final part is for writing and reflection. Writing is a powerful tool for solidifying what you've learned and for consciously working on your grammar and sentence structure. For this part, I want you to write a short paragraph, just a few sentences, about anything you want. You could write about your day, what you're thinking about right now, or a short summary of the text you just read. The purpose here is to put everything together, to use some of the new vocabulary or phrases you've been working on, and to think about how you're constructing your sentences. This is your chance to be deliberate with your language, to slow down and consider your grammar, your verb tenses, and your punctuation. Another wonderful thing you can do during this writing time is to reflect on your goals. Think about why you're learning English. What is it that you want to achieve? Do you want to travel and talk to people from different countries? Do you want to get a better job? Do you want to watch your favorite movies without subtitles? I highly recommend creating what I like to call a dream board in your mind, or even on a piece of paper. Think of specific goals that are connected to your English. Maybe it's a new laptop you want to buy, or a specific apartment you want to rent, or a trip you want to take. And remember, English is the instrument that's going to get you there. Reflecting on these goals and writing them down makes them real, and it reminds you why you're putting in the work every single day. Let's try a writing prompt for the next 5 minutes. I want you to write a short paragraph about what you hope to achieve with your English skills in the next 6 months. Think big, think specific, and write it down. So, get a notebook and a pen, or open up a blank document on your computer and spend the next 5 minutes writing about your goals. Wonderful. And just like that, you've completed a full 20-minute English learning routine. You've worked on your listening, your speaking, your reading, and your writing, all in a focused, efficient, and well-rounded way. You've done something for your English today, and you should feel really proud of that. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. What if I miss a day? What if I can't do all 20 minutes? And that's a perfectly normal thought. And my answer is simple. That's okay. Life happens. We all have busy days, or days where we just don't feel up to it. The most important thing is to be kind to yourself. If you miss a day, don't let that derail you completely. Just get back on track the next day. Don't fall into the trap of thinking you have to do everything perfectly. If you only have 10 minutes, then just do 2 of the sections. Maybe 5 minutes of listening and 5 minutes of speaking. The point is to maintain the habit, even in a smaller way. Remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint. The goal isn't to be fluent in a week. It's to make small, consistent progress that adds up to huge results over time. By dedicating just 20 minutes of your day to this routine, you are making a massive investment in your English skills. And over time, those small investments are going to build a solid foundation of fluency and confidence, a foundation that won't crumble. So, I want to encourage you to give this a try, starting tomorrow, or even today if you're feeling motivated. Choose a time that works best for you. And make a commitment to yourself to stick with it for a week, just 7 days, and then 2 weeks, and then a month. You'll be so incredibly proud of the progress you make, and you'll be on your way to becoming the confident English speaker you've always wanted to be. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this plan gives you the clarity, the motivation, and the confidence you need to take your English learning to the next level. Until next time, keep practicing, keep listening, and never stop learning. Goodbye for now.